So I think Epic Games may have made a grave mistake. So at first, they started signing out exclusivity deals using a lower percentage cut to attract developers. This already did not resound with the gaming community, as many people were not really happy about Metro Exodus, because the publishers for Metro Exodus had already said they were going to sell. In fact, they were already selling pre-orders on Steam before they decided to pivot to Epic Games for a 1-year timed exclusive. And so a lot of people have had discussions with Tim Sweeney on Twitter, and people have made genuine appeals saying, hey, this is not a model that's sustainable for the industry. But I think Tim has a personal vendetta against Steam, and you can see it from his statements. And I'm an Epic Games user. I've used the Epic Games Store to buy Metro Exodus. That's the only game I've used it for. And I downloaded the Unreal 4 engine just out of curiosity to see what it is. But I don't necessarily use it, and they're not going to get my information at all. I mean, a lot of people say, well, they don't want their information out there, and I can understand that as well. So if that's something you're cautious about, then no problem. I can always change my IP address. I can call my internet service provider, and I can get some things tweaked and all that good stuff. There are measures that I can take if I'm worried. But I think Epic Games right now, with the statement that Tim made that if Steam is willing to change, he responded to a tweet from somebody. If Steam's willing to reduce their share model from the 30% or whatever it is, 20% that they take, depending on the performance of the game sales, that Epic Games is willing to backtrack or move away from the exclusivity practice. And one, that's a tweet. A tweet's not a legally binding statement. So I take everything with a grain of salt. Whatever he said there, I doubt that that's the case. If Steam actually stops doing that, if Steam says, okay, tomorrow we're going to start taking only 10%, who's to say that Tim Sweeney cannot keep signing exclusivity deals to put Steam at a disadvantage and change their mind and then put them in a PR bind? So it might be a tactical way to actually subvert Steam in a business sense. And so what he's done is he's put the light on Steam just to create some kind of, I don't know if it's diversionary tactics, or I don't know if it's maybe gaslighting, putting the blame on Steam as a place that's not really conducive for the gaming industry, that the 10 or the 20% model or whatever the percentage model share is something that developers are not benefiting from. Now, I don't really know how it works. Development studios are businesses, and so they need to run with profits. But at the same time, developing studios need to understand that the only way that they can run with profits is from people buying their games. Epic Games does not have an unlimited amount of money that they can keep throwing around. And so developers would do well to consider building their brand and building a community. A lot of people may think that sales is everything. I think a community is bigger than sales when it comes to gaming, because with a community, you can always continuously depend on people to support your work. In the case of Epic Games, buying these exclusive deals has, in a sense, started to alienate them from the gaming community. And I can also make the case that Epic Games could have just taken all the money they've used to buy exclusive deals to actually make a platform that provides a lot of value to the consumer and the developers, and then also add that share cut and see what will happen if they did that. If they made a platform that provided better services than Steam and also at the same time made it very profitable for developers, I can guarantee you that this will help developers a lot more, because already there are people who are buying these games and people who will be happy to say, you know what, if the developers are going to get more money from this, I would rather pay money on Epic Games than paying on Steam. At that point, the competition is no longer based on this fierce money throwing battle, but now on the community's ability to make a choice as to how they wish to support the developer. I can understand people saying they don't want another platform, but let me tell you something. The reason I went Metro Exodus on Epic Games was I wanted to support the developers. I don't care much for Epic Games at all, but I knew that the money would go to the developers, and many a times these decisions are probably made from publishers, which they said that the publisher made that decision, and sometimes the developers have to suffer and be the ones who take the flack for these so-called big suits decisions. And we've also seen some small developing studios also make that decision themselves. And what Borderlands is doing right now with a 6-month timed exclusive it's just useless, honestly. Like, if your game needs a 6-month timed exclusive, what's the point? Is that a statement that you're trying to make? And I think Tim is bringing, because of the money side, all these developers to his side of the equation, while Steam is going to end up winning because Steam has the loyalty of the gaming community. We're the customers. We're the ones who have an unlimited supply of funds. I'm not saying each individual, but where the next generation is going to be looking for a platform that's trusted. Guess what they're going to tell them? Steam. Guess the message that this next generation is going to hear, that Epic Games is trash, and many of them are going to flood towards what they're being recommended to by the other members of the gaming community. So if Epic Games wants to build a long-lasting business model, they need to stay clear of this whole business ideology. And saying that they're going to make changes if Steam actually makes changes is just a cop-out. They're doing something that they know is strong-arming their community, yet they want to somehow blame it on Steam. Well, the fault is not on Steam, and they're not talking to children anymore. The gaming community is actually made up of grown adults, and so we know what's going on and we see what's happening, and people are making their choices. So Epic Games, this is definitely the wrong move, and y'all tell your CEO that he needs to stop talking. He needs to get a PR guy, or he needs to get some seriously good salesmen into that company, and so that they can actually sell and push the product out there. Because one thing about most developers is they don't know how to do sales and community development. They just go out there and open their mouth and start to say all kinds of random things that may not be the best for their company's health long term. So that's all I have to say about the matter. Leave comments if you're in this discussion. If you're a Steam person, I'm a Steam person too. My Epic Games Store is sitting there, but I wanted to support some developers. In the case of Borderlands 3, it's looking like console for me, man. As much as I would love to play a shooter on PC, I might just, bite the bullet and buy it on PC on console, for the meantime. And then when it comes on Steam, maybe consider picking it up for a sale or whatever. That's all I got. I guess I'll see you in the next video. We'll be talking gaming issues in the landscape. And thank you guys for hanging in there. Thank you guys for your participation in the channel. And I guess I'll see you soon. Peace.